and buy and hold investor here for a little over 3 years.
All right, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Today is the second and last day of the Go Giver. We wanted to have a nice thin book for the month of October, and this book was thin, but it was very, very, very impactful. I learned a ton from this. I hope you guys did too. We're going to go through the last couple of chapters, and then we are going to kind of go through with a review and hit up all the laws, all those amazing laws, and see how we can implement these into our lives and into our businesses. So let's get started. Look, we got Maria in the house. Welcome, Maria.
What's up?
So Maria, you're new. Most everybody here has been here before. So just so you know, this is an interactive group. I don't know if you read the book, but it's okay. You definitely feel free to put in your 2 cents. We would love to hear what you have to say and your point of view on what we're going to discuss today. And Go Giver. All right, we're starting on the law of authenticity. So the fourth law, the law of authenticity, is the most valuable gift you can offer is yourself. Your business will reach nowhere without authenticity. It is the spices of success. Have you ever experienced entering a store and getting stopped by a salesperson talking on and on about the statistical average of their product, advantage of their product? How did you feel? It was probably frustrating. There is a better method to have sales, and it's another Go Giver principle. So the law of authenticity says that we have to treat others as human beings, not just as customers. And in the book, they went over the story of Deborah Davenport. Her sales industry days were not easy. All the time she had to make a sale, she couldn't, regardless of how much she spoke enthusiastically about the property. And remember, guys, this is the star of this book, Joe. This is the same problems he was having. He was putting in the effort and he just wasn't getting any results. So she started a discussion with the client about his day, and all of a sudden the formal discussion was changed into something very relaxed, personalized, and fun. The outcome, she sold the house. She prospered to become a successful realtor basically by relating with the customers as people. So what do you guys think about that? I mean, so the question before was, have you ever experienced entering a store and you just get sabotaged by the, just get inundated with this guy about product, and they don't even really care about you? It's like, how do you guys feel when that happens, when you get into that type of situation?
Oh, I remember when the malls used to be open and before COVID, and you would have the little cell phone guys at the kiosks in the center of the mall just hounding you like, hey, check this out about the phone, and it would make you kind of want to avoid going that direction because like, I'm not trying to be hounded by these guys. Yeah,
those kiosk guys, you gotta make sure you don't make eye contact, right? Or the girls who will come spray for free on you, right?
Yep.
It's very car salesman, used car salesman. And so being in sales, I kind of like this now. I like whenever we go, no matter what we're looking for. My wife still hates talking to salespeople, right? But being a salesperson myself, I like it. Like I like when I want to see what kind of sales skills that they have, and I like to use them. I like to ask them questions, and I don't know. I kind of make it like fun. I like to just see what they do, see what kind of skills they have. But we've all had that feeling where it's just they're just overbearing and they're just sell, and they don't care about you. Now, this story is about a real estate agent. Kelly, I'm sure you can relate, since you're a real estate agent, about, if someone it's not just business, you know what I mean? People, especially with the real estate agent, people want to work with someone they like. Can you relate to this, Kelly? Do you have any stories about using this strategy?
Yeah, I do. I don't feel like I personally come off like salesy. I listen a lot more than probably the norm. I'm an I. So I'm like an influencer. I listen to my clients' needs and then I just kind of relay it back to them. So
Absolutely, right? So that's a great one. So they know you listen, so you're paying attention, you're finding out what's important to them, and then you're relaying it back to them. And that's a great way to sell a house too. You said you wanted this checks all the boxes. What's preventing you from writing an offer today? That's good. Anybody else have any experience? So in the real estate investing world, we were having a discussion yesterday about this very thing, about some of the most successful sales that we've had were because we got to know them personally. We know about, when you're talking to somebody, you're finding out about their issues. And a lot of times when you're buying an off-market house, it's because there's some sort of distress. There's a problem in their life. And so being empathetic, listening, paying attention, even asking, finding out how you can help makes it much easier. Does anybody have any experience in that?
providing solutions especially for my investors. I do a lot of their homework for them. So then that way they can check the margin in their numbers based on what they need.
Absolutely. Anybody else got anything on this point before we move on?
Yeah, lately we've been getting a lot of sellers calling us back after closing, offering us other properties that they have that they'd like to get rid of. And even though we make that same question from the very get-go, these sellers try to test you to see how, even if you're able to come through, if you actually say what you're going to do. And coming through to them, it's like, okay, you know what? I'm comfortable. Everything came out the way I wanted. And so now we're just getting a lot of callbacks like, hey, you helped close my mom's house. You closed on my uncle's house. And we're getting a lot of referrals now, which is, it goes in waves, right? But to me, it just confirms that my team is really doing what they're supposed to and that I have the right team in place as well.
I love it, because you want to do what's right for them, right? You don't want to.
Yes.
The problem you're solving is taking this property off their hands. We're not doing a bad thing. We're doing a good thing. I think a lot of people look at it the wrong way, as if they're doing something evil or bad, but we're really not. We're providing a service. So absolutely making sure that you're doing the best for them, and then they're going to send referrals. So a good friend of mine, I'm sure a lot of you guys know him, Elijah Rubin. He's a great negotiator, and his personality is amazing. Like the way I've listened to several of his conversations, and the way he talks to people is just outstanding. In fact, he says, no matter what happens, he says, if we can make a deal, if we can make something happen, then I'm going to need one thing from you. You have to agree to something. Otherwise, I just can't do a deal with you. You have to take me out to lunch or dinner. You need to buy me a meal if I can make this happen for you. And those meals have turned into so much more business for him. And building rapport. And he has a hallway. The other thing that he asked them is to write a letter, a letter of recommendation. His hall is lined with letters from sellers, wholesale, off-market wholesale sellers. So these people sell him a house at an extremely huge discount, and then they write him a thank you letter. That's service. That's amazing for me. Anybody else have anything on that? All right. Move forward. All right, one more. The fourth law of stratospheric success. What is the foundation of all people skills? The most valuable thing you have to give people is yourself. No matter what you think you're selling, what you're really offering is you. And especially in sales, guys, that's so true. Authenticity. It's worth 10,000 times more than all the closing techniques that have ever been or will ever be invented. Authenticity, really caring. How many of us have called if you're a real estate agent, how many of us have called your buyer you know, a month after, 6 months after, a year after. How's it going? How's the house? Can I do anything to help you? I'm horrible with that. I've been horrible with that in the past. Or following up with the seller and, you know, just that continuing that relationship. All right, the fifth law, the law of reciprocity. I loved this one. The key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. All right, I gave a homework assignment last week. I don't know if you guys remember, but you were supposed to, the next time someone told you that they love you, you weren't supposed to throw it back in their face with a "I love you too." You were supposed to say "thank you." Did anybody do that this week? And if so, what was their reaction?
Yes, I tried it this week.
What was their reaction?
I had somebody tell me like, "Oh, you're learning to see love," and then some of my siblings were like, "What? Okay, you're welcome." So some people took it differently, I guess.
And the point of this, guys, was, and again, where did they say where it was from? Because I can't remember where I learned that from.
I don't remember where you said it. I just remember you saying.
Okay, yeah. So I don't remember where I learned this, but the whole point of it was that we reject love. We reject things all the time. And so, especially when someone says, "I love you" to us, we automatically just throw it back in their face. "Oh, I love you too." We don't bring it in. "You love me," and "thank you." So next time you do it, you guys who didn't try it this next week, next time someone says they love you, and if somebody doesn't tell you they love you this week, you need to get with some new people. You need to get around your family. You need to get around your mom or something, because people should be telling you they love you every single week. I love you guys, by the way. But try it.
Thank you.
When they say thank you, or when they say I love you, say thank you for that. You're welcome. All right, let's get back. All right. All of us have heard several things giving, however, not much about what to expect back. So we've talked about giving, but we haven't talked about receiving. You may still be a bit uncertain precisely where your own success will originate from. Let's end this dread now. Each time you offer something, you can expect to receive something back. This is the fifth and last law of go-giving, the law of reciprocity. Theories and belief systems that acquired their own form of this law. So karma, yeah, right? We all know about karma. Yin and yang. To each and every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Similar to how your heart has to relax after it contracts, the natural movement from giving is receiving. Ask yourself, what do you know about giving? But as a kid, we were told that it's better to give than receive. Now, do you still agree? So this is what the law of reciprocity teaches us. It's not better to give than to receive. It's insane to try to give and not receive. Trying not to receive is not only foolish, it's arrogant. When someone gives you a gift, what gives you the right to refuse it, to deny their right to give? Every giving can happen only because it's also a receiving. Oh, let me repeat that. Every giving can happen only because it's a receiving. You ever try to do something nice for somebody and they just won't let you? They just don't. "Oh, I don't need that. No. I'm okay. Thanks anyways. No. It's annoying, you know. People need to know how to receive. So if you want to exploit giving, you have to accept this flow. Oftentimes we shut ourselves off to this process by disregarding it or seeing ourselves undeserving. We need to put a stop to this. We have to actively open ourselves up by dreaming big, being curious, and trusting in ourselves. Who's a bad receiver here? Who's a great receiver here?
I'm terrible at receiving.
Why do you think so, Justin?
Well, like I said, I feel undeserving whenever people, give me compliments or say good things about me. I have a bad self-image, and I tell them, no, not really, or no, sure, if you want to say so, I guess, that kind
Right.
of thing. So,
Yeah, that's bad because you're just telling them, no, what you just said, it's not true. I'm not a good guy.
Yeah.
When you are a good guy. That's a good one. Does anybody else have an example of receiving, or how about when someone asks you, hey, heading to the coffee store. Can I get you anything? How many people are just like, no, I don't want to, I don't want to be in debt to you. I don't want to this. Instead of just being like, yeah, grab me one of these bad boys.
I think I'm good at both. I like receiving, but it makes me so happy to give. I just love giving. That's just in my nature. I've been like that since I was very young. And I think that it's one of those things where sometimes when we're not good receivers, it's because we don't think we're worthy of it. And we block the blessings that come to our life by not being open to receiving those gifts. So, there's times where we feel like that we're human beings, life gets in the way. And yeah, there may be times where even I feel undeserving of something, but you know what? It's like, it's precisely what my soul needs at that time. So you just have to receive it, take it. It's a blessing, and more blessings will come your way.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you were not here last week, I believe, because we talked about you. I was telling them about your amazing event a year ago, 2 weeks ago, and how you are a go-giver. You give and give and give, like how some people would just invite you to be a speaker and kind of you're on your own. Like you guys went all out. They flew us out. They got us hotel rooms. I had a welcome basket there waiting for me, and just the whole nine. It was just amazing, and hopefully I received that well, because it was such a fantastic gift. It was such a fantastic time. And that kind of just set the tone for the whole event. They just gave, and people learned so much. It was fantastic.
Thank you, Chris. You were amazing too. Honestly, you hit that stage, and I actually presented you on stage. So I was backstage right behind you when you were speaking, and honestly, your speech blew me away. Lots of people. You actually closed the event, if I'm not mistaken. You were the last speaker. BP opened the event and you closed it, and it was like perfect. I didn't realize we did that until like later when I looked at the whole schedule. I was like, oh my gosh, the cash flow guys opened and closed it. Yeah, so it was like perfect way to close the event.
Yeah, thanks. That was one of the most frightening and most fulfilling things that I've ever done in my life. It was a trip. Does anybody else have any experiences where you try to give, and people just reject it, don't want help, don't want this?
I'm like that on the receiving part. I when I had my 9 to 5, I always provided good customer service and a good experience, and they would come back and, oh, let me get you lunch, let me get you, no, that's fine, I'm okay, you're just doing my job. And it led to a little lunch here and there, but I felt I was just kind of doing what I was supposed to do.
Right.
And
a lot of us are raised that way. It's our blueprint. For sure. So a lot of us are bad with receiving compliments. A lot of the ladies out there are bad at receiving compliments. A lot of times I'll tell my wife she's beautiful, and it's always like, yeah, but, oh, really? Oh, how can you say that? How can you think that? Horrible. Like, come on, take a compliment, say thank you, and then believe it, please. Justin fell off. He's back. Okay. Lastly, sometimes it feels good for people to give. So sometimes, even if you don't want it, just receive it. Thank them. So I have a good example of this. My grandma is coming to visit. We're going to have a meetup this Sunday. It's my mom's birthday today. And my grandma has a ton of bobbleheads, right? So she loves baseball, she loves the D-backs, and so people are always buying her bobbleheads. And she texted me and she's like, hey, I have a bunch of bobbleheads, with the boys like one. And I could have easily, because the answer is one kid, no, like he doesn't like baseball at all because his older brother likes baseball. But my oldest, he probably wouldn't really want it, to be honest. But it's going to bring her joy to give that to him, right? So I'm not gonna, he can take it and it's fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's a bobblehead. He's gonna set it up on his shelf and he loves baseball. So he might want it, but I'm not gonna tell her no just because it brings her joy. She wants to give stuff away. Why would I stop her from receiving joy? You know, that's my grandma. So that's crazy talk. So sometimes when people try to, especially when people are giving you, people who have less, a lot of times, you know, we feel like, oh, I wouldn't want to take from them because they have less than me. Well, that should even show you even more why you should receive, because they have less than you and they're still giving. Pretty sure there's something in the Bible about that, right? Somebody giving their last dime or something like that. Not quite sure, but pretty sure it's in there. All right. Back to it. All right. The Go-Giver, number 4, chapter 14. So what do you need to be successful? You need to give, you need to serve, and you have to put the interests of others before your own. Everything is not about the money. When next you see yourself lamenting that you work hard at your work and yet you don't get enough money as you'd wish, consider all the other things you achieve. It could be positive relationship with strangers, new abilities, or basically developing as a person. If you're not achieving any of these things, then it's high time to begin giving more positive things. Then you'll notice the outcomes. I mean, we want to give our time to charity and stuff, right? I mean, we don't get paid for that, but it's giving. So, 5 laws of stratospheric success. Number 1, the law of value. Your true value is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. Who's got something about this? This was the first law. Your true value is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. How can you apply this to your business? Let's talk.
So in my, I do trailer rentals also.
Okay.
And I always try and provide as much as I can to the renter. That's, you know, I feel is appropriate. And I've gotten a lot of response where people say, man, you provided everything we could have wanted, even more. So thank you. So I feel like that kind of goes with that.
Terrific. So we rented a camper, a trailer to haul for this summer. And yeah, I could see how that could go 2 different ways. So they could just give you the basics, or you could be like my guy who he has all this stuff that I might not have as a, you know, once in a while camper. You know, oh, do you need this? How about this? Oh, why don't I just throw this in here just because you might need it? You know, those types of things. Definitely going above and beyond, and then not trying to, you know, nickel and dime me for every single little thing.
I can't stand when our owners group, when they talk about that, they're like, you know, it's a $5 charge here. If you go over your generator hours, it's an extra $5 there. And it's just, I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, like you're charging for utensils, for plates, for sheets. I'm like, come on, like just make a price and set it.
Yeah, make it a great experience, because don't you want, like that guy, I'll go back to him, right? So we don't want to have to find a new place to do something, right? If I find a great place to rent a trailer, I don't want to have to go find another place. I want to just go right back to you because you created fantastic value. You know, I got more than what I paid for. I'm going to go back every time in that circumstance.
Yeah, I like the repeat renters because I know how they treated it previously, and you know, then it's kind of, we got the rapport going, so you don't really want to mess up your friends, you know, stuff. So
yes, there you go. Yeah, I guess it goes the other way too. If they're not treating your stuff with respect, you know, you're not going to rent to them again. You know, they're going to go on your list, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What else, guys? What are some other things that you can do in your business to give more than you receive?
I recently did a little 90-day coaching program, and he actually the person that ended up extending it to for an extra month. So he was paid for 3 months worth of service, and he provided 4. So that's, I definitely see that other people implementing that, and giving more than what we more in value than what we paid for.
Okay, good stuff. Who's got rentals, right? Well, I know a lot of us have rentals, so we have tenants. So you could be the guy who, or your property management company could be the company where they just, okay, they're not bad, they're just nothing, right? They do the paperwork, they move them in. A year later, maybe you hear from them, if there's a complaint, they'll receive it here and there. But what about being a fantastic landlord? What about knowing their kids' birthdays and sending them gifts? What about, now one thing that we do, and it's to be good landlords, it's also to get people to pay on time. So we do raffles. Once a quarter, we do raffles. And if you pay on time, you get entered in the raffle, and we give you, it's a $300 either rent credit, or we'll buy you a TV or a gift card. So you could just be average, or you can be fantastic. And then, and that's just little extra things. It doesn't take a lot. My grandma, bring her up again, she is the best with birthdays. She has everybody's birthday, and everybody, I'm 42 years old, and as far as I know, I've gotten 42 birthday cards because it comes every year. Like clockwork. Anniversaries too. She knows everybody's anniversary, and you're gonna get a nice card from grandma. So, and guess what happens every time I get a card from grandma? Grandma gets a call from her grandson. Win-win, right? I know a lot of grandmas who would love to have their grandchildren call, and they don't. So how about a $2 card, and that's how you're gonna get a phone call. What else? Anybody else want to chime in on the law of value? How you can implement the law of value into your business?
But with some of my tenants, there's some things that like on maintenance requests, like, hey, you know what? Technically, this is supposed to be done by you, but tell you what, I just want to make sure you have a good experience at the property. So, tell you what, I'll go ahead and address it. I'll take care of it, and kind of make your stay a little bit more enjoyable at the property, because it also helps build that relationship and helps them value you as a landlord, that, hey, I'm going to go above and beyond to make sure I do my part and make sure you're happy with the property and the way things are going. Now, some things might be, a little bit under a little bit of a stretch, but there are things that are within my control, and that I can actually do and help them and go the extra mile to make their stay more enjoyable.
Awesome. All right, let's go to the next one. The law of compensation. Your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. Absolutely. So anybody have any comments on this? How can you use the law of compensation to help people? So if we go back in the book, you'll recall that they talked to the lady who was a teacher, and she loved teaching, but she was getting frustrated at the bureaucratic part of it, and she was only able to influence a handful of kids every single year, 20, 30 kids a year. And so that's where she created a system, a program that she was able to put out nationwide, and she's able to serve many, many, many people. So how can you do that in your life? How can you expand so you're serving much more people? Anybody?
Delegate.
What's that?
You have to delegate.
Okay, very good. You do have to delegate. But how about giving? So Kelly is a real estate agent. What if she held a first-time home buyer seminar once a month? And let's just say she got 15 people in. That's going to be 180 people extra that she is affecting, that she's effectively touching out there with her message. What if you set up a credit repair, right? So a lot of these we know, like a credit repair, somebody who that's gonna be years down the road, right? They got a 520 score and a brand new job. A lot of realtors wouldn't even talk to that person because they, if they're not ready now, what's the point? But what if you got 10 of those people in your pipeline every single week? And then, what if you delegated and you had someone follow up with them every single month? Just lots of things like that. How can you go bigger and serve more people? Anybody else have anything on that? How you can put that in your business?
That kind of reminds me of kind of maybe like planting a seed to where, kind of like you mentioned, you talk to people and they might not be ready right then and there, but you kind of hear them out, see where they're at, and maybe guide them in the right direction. And once they are ready to make that purchase, hopefully they come back to you and bring some compensation when they end up buying a house.
100%. It's a long game, guys. It's a long game. All right. The law of influence. Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. What are some ways you can implement this law into your business? How can you place other people's interests first? Who's got an example for me? Come on, guys. The law of influence.
I strongly feel like I'm a big believer in like under promise and over deliver. So I always try to, get what my clients need first, because they're always going to be more inclined to help you after the fact when they know that you've done so much more for them.
100%. 100%. Anybody else? I'm trying to think of whose story this one was. Oh, this was Sam, he was on the top floor, the insurance guy, the insurance sales guy. So if we want to go back and look at his story.
Oh yeah, sharing his knowledge.
Right, exactly. Shoot, I'm drawing a blank on this one. What was the story, guys? The story of Sam, the insurance guy.
I think it was like the walking ambassadors.
Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. So anyways, I mean, it's easy on that aspect because, a lot of guys, insurance salesmen, right? They just want to make the sale. They're not in for what is right for their client. Financial advisors have a huge role in this. You got to do what's right for the customer. You're not just in it for the commission. Next is the law of authenticity. So the next two we went over today. The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. How can you? So in the book they talked about the guy Pintar or Pinar, whatever his name is. He's been married for 50 years, and he said the reason for his success is because his wife was his number one priority. He wanted her happiness was the most important thing, not his happiness. How can we put this in our lives? How can we make other people more valuable? And how much of an influence would that be? How much of a difference would that make?
Right now, I'm in the middle of creating a digital course, and it's about helping transitioning veterans. And I feel myself going through that exact situation and dealing with depression and deeper levels than that. I can speak truly to the other veterans that are going to be going through that same thing, potentially in that same situation. So I feel like being authentic with that is going to help out my course.
That's great. That's great. And you're offering yourself, you're offering your experience and letting them know, hey, you're not alone. This is very common. We all struggle, and there's nothing to be ashamed of with that. That's awesome, man. That's a big problem. I can't believe that our government doesn't do a better job with that, but I guess we're here to help ourselves, right? We don't need the government to do it. We just got to do it ourselves.
Yeah, there's been some programs that have been started. I got out in '08, and at that time, I was just kind of ushered out the door. See you later. Thanks for your time, and good luck. I know that some things have been started since then. I haven't dived too deep into them, but after all the suicide, especially on the VA parking lots, they've definitely looked into it more. So
Wow. That's sending a message, right?
yeah.
Wow, that's horrible. Okay, anybody else? Give me some tips, guys. What are some things you do with your significant other that is just giving of yourself, giving of your time? What can we do to be better husbands, better wives?
When you're talking to them, put away your phone.
Put away your phone. Yes, we talked about this in one of our last books. When you're talking to your kids and your wife or whoever, put away your phone. I see my kids doing the same crap. So I'm listening to them, but I have my phone in my hand and I'm actually scrolling, right? Like, how rude is that? And I catch myself doing it all the time. If my kid did that to me, it would piss me off. So yes, give your full attention to those that are talking to you. And then listening that's one of the things that I've worked hard on, is just every day sitting down and just asking my wife how she's doing and just listening, and not solving her problem. We talked about this. Don't try to solve every problem, just listen. Who else has a tip on how to give themselves more? You guys are shy today. Okay. Next, the law of
So one of my
reciprocity. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'll say one of my wife's love languages is gifts, essentially. And so her biggest thing is the dish or the sink being clean before bed. And so sometimes, especially when she's out, I try and do it to where I'm not making a big show out of it. I'm not trying to wave my hand and be like, hey, look what I'm doing. I try and do it when she won't know that I'm doing it. She'll know that I did it because it's clean, but I don't try and let her see me do it. Just, I want her to come home or to, come back, whatever, and see that it's done and just feel the joy of it being clean.
Yes, that's awesome. Now that's where a lot of people, I feel like in my household, my wife can be a horrible receiver. She feels guilty when I do stuff, right? Because she doesn't have a job. She's a homemaker. So when I go and I start doing the dishes, she'll be like, no, don't do that. Like, let me do something nice for you, right? There's dishes, I want to do them. Don't reject my giving. And she does a lot. And so it's like, shut up, sit down, and let me do my thing. Let me serve you. Anybody else have anything on that? All right, the law of reciprocity, or what? That's not right. It's reciprocity, isn't it? Am I doing this wrong? Reciprocity. How the hell do you say that, guys? I can't read. Reciprocity?
Receptivity.
Receptivity. Holy crap, that's a new word. I've been reading it wrong the whole time. Receptivity. Okay, the key to effective giving is staying open to receiving. We talked a lot about this today. We're all going to be cognizant and be aware that we don't receive well, and we're going to start receiving well. Anybody have any additional thoughts on that before we wrap this up? All right. So once again, thanks for following on social media. I really appreciate you guys being here. We do have, hey Maya, do we have a giveaway today?
Oh yeah, I'll send the link.
Okay, so we're going to give away the next book. Angel has the book because Elizabeth was a go-giver, and since she had already won, she gave the book to him. And this is the book that we're going to see work on. You guys see this book? Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's going to be the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. So this I've not read. I've heard very good things about it, and it's supposed to be an implementable book. So we'll have a link for this in the group. So go ahead and we'll have an intro to the book on Friday, next Friday, and then the following week it'll actually be November, and that's when we'll start in on it. And so next week, so just get the book. Next week we'll make the assignments. All right, here we go. Who is going to be our big winner? All right, Kelly.
Congrats, Kelly.
Congrats, Kelly.
Hey, Kelly.
Thank you. Yay.
Congrats.
Ciao.
Thank you.
All right, so Kelly, you can have any book. You can get the new book if you want, or you can have any book that we've ever done in the Leveling Up Book Club. So go ahead and just let Maya know, and she'll get your address, and we'll get that mailed out to you this week. And Angel will get yours mailed out today as well.
Beans, gracias.
Yeah, you got it. All right, everybody. Well, again, thank you so much for being here. It's a lot more fun doing this with a bunch of people than by myself. So I appreciate it. As always, I'm looking for book recommendations. If you know of a fantastic book that is implementable, something that we can implement into our business and or our lives, let me know. And then lastly, if any of you want to host a book of the month, please let me know. I would love to have you do it. All you have to do is know the content, read the book, and then we'll have the slideshow. We'll have everything ready for you to go. It's a great way to break out of your shell. It's a great way to work on your public speaking. And if you want to know, really know a book, this is the best way, because you don't not only just have to read it, you have to know it. So thanks again, guys. You can catch any of these replays on YouTube, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.
All right. Thank you,
Thanks,
Chris.
Chris.
Gracias.
Hey, Chris.
Bye, guys.
All right.